only 363 homes sold. That would make it actually even slower than the month of February. Like when the real estate market is busy, Brampton is usually one of the busiest markets in all of the GTA. Like Brampton's a very, very active market. But the opposite is also true. When the real estate market starts to slow down, Brampton usually crashes the hardest and usually the fastest. So let's see what's going on in Brampton, because right now for home sales, Brampton is in trouble. Now let's start off with like right from the beginning of the year, what's been going on, and then I'll show you what happened in the month of July. Sales actually went up 160% from January to May. Now I do realize spring is supposed to be busier than winter, but the main reason was Bank of Canada paused the rate hikes. So sales skyrocketed. They went up 160%. Prices actually also went up 11%. So these are average prices for detached homes. So detached homes went up 11% in just 5 months. But like I said before, the opposite also true, because when the market starts to slow down, Brampton crashes fast. And sales just in 2 months only, from May to July, sales have already dropped 51%. And prices have started to follow. They are down 7% for detached homes. Now you might think, well, I don't see it because everywhere I go, all I see is multiple offers. So I'm going to cover that in 1 second. Like I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on with that later on. But let's look at the number of sales and look at this in all of Brampton, east, west, north, south, every type of house, condos, detached homes, only 363 homes sold. That would make it actually even slower than the month of February. Like February even had 382 homes sold. The peak of the market, which I think probably will remain the peak for the rest of the year. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But at the peak, it was 742, and now we're down by more than half. So sales are struggling. And now if you want to look at what is going on in terms of like supply and demand, as I showed you, sales are down. Sales are in orange, and sales are just below February, just above January. So like we're back to what was happening in the winter months. New listings, they have been going up steadily ever since the month of February, and they were taking over right there. From June to July, there has been a slight drop, so you're not getting a lot more new listings come up on the market, which happens every single year. I try to tell people every single year, spring is the busiest time of the year, and sales come down in July, August, and a little bit in September, and also new listings come down because a lot of people are just on vacation or doing other things. So new listings took a slight drop, but sales dropped by a lot more. Now, the key thing to look at here is the gap in between supply and demand. If you look at the gap between orange and blue, which is like sold versus new listings, you can see here a very small gap right there. Then it started to get wider and wider, and look at the gap in June and even higher in July right there. That's a big, big gap between supply and demand. Another thing to keep in mind is active listings. Active listings were almost next to nothing if you looked at like March, April, and May. Like there was just nothing left at the end of the month. But the gap has been widening. Look at the gap between orange and light gray right there. Like that's what you want to keep in mind when you're thinking of selling or buying. This is, I think, important information for buyers and sellers. Now, other things I like to cover because I want to at least provide you with some information that you might not get somewhere else. So at least it's worth your time stopping by and checking out the video. By the way, if you do like this stuff, please like and comment and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. So I would really appreciate that. Now let's see what's going on actively right now in the market. Active listings in Brampton right now are 1,441, and out of those, 926 of them have been on the market for longer than 2 weeks, and 700 of them, so almost 50%, have been on the market for longer than 3 weeks. Now this number would have been almost next to nothing a couple of months ago because everything was selling in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. So that's why I want to bring this to your attention, because things are taking longer to sell. So buyers have less panic in the market, and if you're a seller, you should keep this in mind as well, because all you're going to hear about on social media or real estate flyers is that, hey, everything's flying off the shelf, list with me, I'll sell in 3 days. Obviously, if you price it below market value, yes, you can sell it in 3 days. But if you price around market value, prepare to sit on the market a little bit longer. Out of the what's going on in July, so this is what's available right now. This is how many listings were canceled in July, 651. Now, obviously, common sense dictates that if the market is busy, there's really no reason to cancel the listing, right? Because it will sell. Usually, listings get canceled. Either the seller's just not happy with the market, he's not getting the price he wants, so he just takes it off the market and says, you know what, we'll try in a couple of years. That's possible. Second reason is that they just agent or the seller suggests that, you know what, let's just cancel the listing and relist it because we've been on the market for like 65 days. No one's going to come see the house because we've been on the market for so long. People think, oh, there's something wrong with the house, that's why it's not selling. So let's cancel it and relist it so it shows up 0 days on the market. So those are the two main reasons a listing is canceled. And out of the 1441 listings available right now, 205 of them have had to change their price. Now let's do a 5-year comparison. Let's see what's going on in Brampton as a broader picture. So these are average prices for all the, not every type of house, because that would take like 3-4 hours. But I just started to pick the most common types: detached homes, freehold townhomes, and condo buildings only. So back in 2019, a detached house would have been right around $860,000. And then we are sitting right around 1.21 for the last 3 years. This is July only. So I'm trying to do an apples to apples comparison only. So this took me about 45 minutes, just this chart only. This took me about 45 minutes. So if you appreciate the kind of work I put in, please like, comment, subscribe, because it does take me a lot of time to put this stuff together. So this is July only, and right now we're sitting at like 1.21 last year and 1.23 this year. So not much has changed if you compare July only. Freehold townhomes, back in 2019, they were sitting at about $635,000, and now we're sitting at right around $900,000. And condo buildings, average price in 2019 was $403,000, and now we're sitting at about $558,000. Now, if you want to look at month by month, what's going on, like month by month, see if the prices are going up or down for your type of house. This is what's going on, and the peak of the market for detached homes for prices was the month of May. At the highest, they were selling for $1.32 million, and now they have dropped to 1.23. What is that, like around $85,000 loss? So that's average price for a detached house. So they're down about $85,000. Freehold townhouses not doing as badly. They have been hovering right around like 900, 950, 950, 940, 900 again. So they're down about like $40,000, $50,000 from the peak of the market, but nothing as drastic as detached homes. That's usually the case. Like detached homes always go up the biggest and drop the highest. Condo buildings average prices, not a huge change. Right from January, they have been right around like $560,000, $575,000. The highest went up last month actually at $610,000, and now we're back to about $558,000. Now, speaking of multiple offers, right? Because all you hear about is multiple offers. Hey, I sold this house with 45 offers and $1 million over asking. That's all you hear about. So this is the percentage of homes that have been selling above asking every single month. In March, April, and May, I would say, yeah, April, May, June, that was the peak of the market in terms of percentage of homes selling above asking. The highest was 65%, like 6 out of 10 homes were selling above asking in the month of May. Then it went down to 56. Now we're sitting at 49. That is still a high number. That means half of the listings are still selling above asking. Does that mean the market is busy? No, that's not necessarily the case. It just means that more and more homes are being listed up below market value to get that kind of attention. Is this right or wrong? That's not for me to say, because obviously sellers love it, buyers hate it. So I'm going to try to stay neutral on this one. But yes, so when you see these numbers, does not always mean that the market is crazy busy. It just means that more and more listings are being priced below market value. Now, I think the best way to figure this out is, let's say, for example, in May, the same house would have sold for 1.5 and with 30 offers. Now, if the same house gets 30 offers, maybe he's getting 1.4 or more, maybe 1.385. So the prices have come down. Just because you're seeing more and more multiple offers does not necessarily mean the prices are still going up. Now, if you need help buying or selling in Brampton, I know I bring the bad news, depressing news, but I think sometimes it's better to know ahead of time, what you're getting into, whether you're buying or selling. So if you are looking for someone who's going to be honest with you about all the stats, give me a call. Happy to help. You can call or text me here. I'll see you later. Thanks.